Good morning. Sorry for startling some of you. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to this service of worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe, and I have the great pleasure and honor of serving this congregation. Our community is striving to be as varied as the blooms of the Sonoran Desert. So whoever you are, whoever you've been, and whoever you are becoming, I invite you to bring your whole self here and now. We are a covenantal community, which means very simply that we make agreements with each other about how we are together when we are together. So in this time of continuing pandemic, wearing masks when we're in worship, and practicing some degree of social distancing if someone's body language or their words ask for that, and getting vaccinated are all part of our covenant with each other. So our hope is that if you're here with us in Holland this morning, is that you are as vaccinated as you can be or planning to be as vaccinated as you can be. And if you're unwilling to be vaccinated, we welcome you to join us for worship. We just ask you to join us online next week. I extend a special welcome to any visitors this morning. I invite you to fill out a guest information card. If you are joining us on YouTube, the guest information card, the link to it will be posted in the YouTube chat very soon. And if you're here with us in person, if you'll join us for social hour, there'll be a table with clipboards that have bright yellow sheets of paper on them. Go ahead and fill one out if you would like to stay in touch with us. And we will have social hour right after the service, just kitty corner out the patio doors to your left. There will be lemonade and iced tea, coffee, maybe some snacks, and good company. And just a few announcements today. Today is the beginning of our OWL program, the re-beginning of our OWL program, Our Whole Lives, our health and sexuality curriculum. So around 12:15, 12:30 today, you'll see a lot of new people, maybe where they don't know where they're going here on campus. Sorry, catching my breath. We'll have a lot of new people and guests here on campus, so if you see someone who doesn't look like they know where they're going, can you help them figure out where they're going, perhaps? Help them direct them to the right room, or you could then direct them to Jamili or Natasha, one of our OWL coordinators, and they will find the right place. And our grief group, I believe, is meeting at noon today in the Reed Room. Ask Lenny Bradley if you'd like to join that. Also, starting in mid-October, I'm going to be leading a Unitarian Universalism Social Justice History course. If you have an interest in history or social justice or Unitarian Universalism, I would love for you to join me. It'll be Wednesdays from 10 to 12. Also, our ushers found a set of keys on a purple keychain. So if those are your keys, go ahead back to our ushers and they can get them. Perfect. Welcome. We are so, so glad that you are here. And to extend a welcome to all those around you, I'm going to have you turn and greet your neighbor for a few minutes. Yes, Hangyu, it is good to have you with us still. Our words for a call to worship this morning are in recognition of the Jewish High Holy Days, which begin tonight at sundown. Maybe some of you are participating in those. These words are from Reverend Kristen Graschel-Schmidt. She writes, "The Jewish New Year commemorates the creation of the world, the bringing forth of order where once there was only chaos, the birth of the building blocks of life. As Jews within and beyond these walls begin to celebrate Rosh Hashanah tonight, let us all celebrate. Let us marvel. Let us be awestruck. For the same force that brought our planet into being, the same force that evolved tiny atoms and molecules and DNA into intelligent life, the same power that transforms summer into autumn and autumn into winter, that same power is still at work in the universe and in us, always bringing about new seasons, new creations, new possibilities. Breath of life, breathe in us, with us, and through us this day as we gather, one in community, one in commitment to truth, love, and justice. Open our minds and hearts to that new that's always being created. Come, my friends, let us celebrate. Let us marvel. Let us be filled with awe. Come, let us worship together."
Good morning. My name is Brenda Lunt, and I am your worship associate for today. Will everyone please join me, when they're up there in a second, in our chalice lighting words by Reverend Heather Januels. We are here to practice and sustain our living tradition, to light a chalice claiming for justice the heat and power of fire. In our free faith, we are here seeking freedom from despair, the freedom to be loved as ourselves, and the freedom to grow beyond imagination. We are here gathered in the name of all that we find holy. Let us give thanks for the gift of gathering here. Now, if you have a chalice or candle at home, please light it as we light our chalice here in Holland.
And would you please stand as you are able, rise in body and spirit, and sing, "Where is our holy church?" The words will be on the screen to my right. Where is our holy church, where race and class unite, as equal persons in the search for beauty, truth, and light? Where is our holy writ, where higher a human heart, a sacred torch of truth has lit by inspiration taught? Where is our Holy One? A mighty host respond. The people rise in every land to break the captive's bond. Where is our holy land? Within the human soul, wherever free minds truly seek with character the goal. Where is our paradise? In aspiration sight, wherein we hope to see arise 10,000 years of seated.
Hi friends, I have a story for us today. Okay, Sonora and I have a story for us today. Sonora is dressed in their very favorite superhero costume, and they're gonna star in the story. So as we listen to Sonora's story, I invite you to think about, where does Sonora get their superpowers from? And do you have superpowers too? Let's listen. Once upon a time, Sonora was fascinated by tales of people with superpowers like the Black Panther and tales of people with magic like Elsa from Frozen. They yearned to have powers like that so they could help people, such as the boy Sonora often saw sitting alone at lunch looking very sad. Sigh, says Sonora, if I had magic powers, I could make him smile. Or like the little kids who were being picked on at school by an older girl. Oh, superpowers would straighten her out fast, Sonora thought to themselves. And whenever Sonora ambled past the old rundown park near their house, they imagined how magic powers could fix it up so kids had a place to play. One night, just as Sonora was about to fall asleep, a fairy godmother swooshed into their room. Hello, Sonora, she said. I'm here to help you. What have you been wishing for? Oh, said Sonora, please give me some magic powers so I can make a difference in the world. Well, said the fairy godmother, I'm happy to give you some magic, Sonora, but Oh, thank you, cried Sonora, cutting off fairy godmother. And with that, Sonora fell right to sleep. The next morning, when Sonora woke up, they remembered what had happened the night before. They jumped out of bed, eager to get going and test out their new superpowers. As they walked to school, Sonora realized they'd forgotten to ask what they needed to do to release those powers. You know, say some secret words or a hand sign or a magic wand or something. But they decided they'd figure it out as the day went along. Sonora saw that same sad boy sitting by himself at lunch again. Let's try my magic, Sonora said, as they wiggled their fingers or hooves or paws from a distance. Nothing happened. Maybe I need to be closer, Sonora thought. So Sonora walked closer to him and he looked up at them. Sonora couldn't help but give him a friendly smile, and when they did, his face beamed with a huge smile right back. Ha, thought Sonora, I really do have magic. Can I join you for lunch, Sonora asked. Sure, the boy said, smiling even bigger. The two of them laughed and talked all during lunchtime. His name was Bobby. Well, Sonora and Bobby became good friends, and Bobby smiled a lot from there on. One day, soon after that, Sonora and Bobby were in the playground when they saw that one girl bullying two younger kids by the swings. Sonora had read what to do about bullies, but had never tried any of it before because they weren't really sure they could do it. But now, with their superpower, Sonora was ready. Come on, Bobby, let's go help the kids, Sonora said. So they walked up to where the big girl stood over the two children. Sonora wiggled their paw and said loudly, hey, stop it right now. Come on, Dottie and Lou, come with Bobby and me. You're safe with us. Well, by now, Sonora was feeling pretty good about their super magical powers. Now, how can I use them to fix up our old park, they wondered. Wiggling their fingers didn't work, or their paw, or their hoof, or whatever. Sonora still didn't know any magic words. Maybe if I start working to clean it, something will occur to me. So Sonora did. Sonora took trash bags to the park and started picking up trash that had been left there. Before long, a couple of friends came by and asked what Sonora was doing. I'm fixing our park so we can play in it again. That sounded like a great idea to Sonora's friends, and they began to help too. Soon, other kids joined them. They picked up trash, pulled weeds, cleared out dead brush. Little by little, the park began to look better. When some of the parents saw the improvements, they too decided to help. Some mowed the grass, others built picnic tables, still others convinced the city to buy some new equipment. It was hard work and it took many days, but they finally got their new park. When it was all done, the whole neighborhood had a picnic and their new park to celebrate it. After the picnic, Sonora fell exhausted into bed. Sonora was just about asleep when the fairy godmother came back. "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," said Sonora. "I want to thank you for giving me all those super magical powers." "But that's what I wanted to tell you," said the fairy godmother. "My wand was broken, and so I didn't give you any powers." "You must have given me powers," protested Sonora. "How else could I have made Bobby happy, stopped a bully, and given our neighborhood a wonderful park?" The fairy godmother just smiled. "My dear, you did that because you possess 3 powers that you developed yourself: kindness, bravery, determination. With those 3 things, you are making a difference." With that, Sonora fell fast asleep. So in the end, what were Sonora's superpowers? Were they things given by the fairy godmother? No. They were things Sonora had inside them all along. And it was when Sonora decided to start using them that the world began to change. Do you have superpowers? Yeah, you. Do you? I think you do. Sonora's superpowers, like kindness, bravery, and determination in the story, came from their own unique being in this world. Your powers are likely different than Sonora's, but with them, you can change the world. If you're ready to explore your uniqueness and help make a difference, check out our programs for people of all ages, including you. Each of our congregations is sharing information about our ongoing programs, or you can check out our shared website. And if you're new with us, welcome. Don't let the title Lifespan Faith Development scare you. It is a common UU term for our programs that explore who we are, where we're going in the world, and what we believe in. We are here to support you on your free and responsible search for truth and meaning, no matter your age or where your journey takes you. So join us in Lifespan Faith Development. We look forward to developing you and giving Sonora some snuggles.
Our earth is strong. It can hold our pain and our joy, our love and our anger. Our shared bowl, which we use each week for joys and concerns, is strong enough to hold the big rocks, which represent our collective celebrations and mournings, and also the smaller stones that will be added to signify the individual joys and concerns. We who live in the desert know that water is life-sustaining and scarce. Let's remember those who are walking through our desert right now without access to water. We pour water from our plastic pitchers, similar to those ones used. Those aren't the ones used. In symbolic representation of the ones used by those seeking to assure greater access to water in the desert, like our ministry partner, No More Deaths. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, I invite you to go to menti.com and put in the code 7850685. If you are here in person, you are welcome to come up to the table and put a stone into the water to symbolize your joy or sorrow. The pebbles create ripples of hope. I'm going to read some of the joys and concerns that were shared over the mentee. I can't see them all the way from the back. I'm going to have to do this. Playing games with new friends. Prayers for David and his family. My heart and mind is with the woman traveling out of state today to receive needed safe medical care that our draconian laws no longer allow here in Arizona. My friend got kicked out of their house because they came out. Let's give just a moment of silence for all the joys and sorrows shared and those that remain unspoken. Our words for contemplation, meditation, and prayer this morning are a litany, which means that I will say a few sentences and you will respond with the same refrain. Your part is, no one is outside the circle of love. Those words will be on the screen, and I will invite you to respond with them throughout the litany with this gesture. Excellent. This litany was written by Reverend Erica Hewitt, inspired by an article by UUA President Susan Frederick Gray. We know the hurt moves through the world, perpetuated by action, inaction, and indifference. Our values call to us to live in the reality of heartbreak of our world, remembering that we who are Unitarian Universalists not only affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, we also affirm the inherent wholeness of every being, despite apparent brokenness. We know that things break or break down. Promises, friendships, sobriety, hope, communication. This breaking happens because our human hearts and our institutions are frail and imperfect. We make mistakes. Life is messy. With compassion as our guide, we seek the well-being of all people. We seek to dismantle systems of oppression that undermine our collective humanity. We believe that we're here to guide one another towards love. No one is outside the circle of love. No matter how fractured we are, or once were, we can make whole peoples of ourselves. We are whole at our core because of the great, unnameable, sometimes inconceivable love in which we live.
Remain in the circle of love and in your seats and sing the words on the screen. When we have ended searching, when we have ended searching for lands beyond our thoughts, when we have ended reaching beyond the grasp of all, and lake devotions given to other shapes of worth, and turn our dreams of heaven to glorifying earth. When we have started creations with undivided strength, of gracious habitations abroad the planet's length. Then will the earth enfold us, and peace and patience come. The ways of thy uphold us, who makes the earth our home. O day of light and gladness, of prophecy and song, what thoughts within us waken, what hallowed memories throng. The soul's horizon widens, past, present, future blend, and rises on our vision the life that has no end.
We have been warmed by fires we did not build. We have drunk at wells we did not dig. In acknowledgement of our many blessings and many needs, an offering will now be collected. If you are joining us on live stream, you can send a check to the office at the church, give online at uuctucson.org/donate, or text 833-361-5796. If you are here in person, the offering baskets are being held by our ushers at the back of the room, and you are welcome to put your offering there now or in the baskets, which will be on the table on the way out to the patio.
The words for our reading this morning are called Scraps by Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Sean Parker Dennison. They write, I believe in compassion, in universalism, in love that does not let us go and does not let us off the hook. I wonder how to love a would-be dictator with hands that drip trauma and blood, who puts children in cold cages alone. I wonder how to love men with guns and baseball bats, ropes dragging the life out of women who created themselves, beauty dreamed and dared into being. I wonder how long I am meant to listen quietly while people lecture on compassion for the privileged, the rapist, the racist, the warmonger who profits on flesh and fear and the bodies of the poor. I wonder why victims are told to settle down, wait their turn, and if there is a little left after we forgive the perpetrator's cruelty, which we have explained is to be expected, overlooked, and excused, if after we comfort them and each other, if then there is anything left, we might offer you some scraps of caring, gone rigid, cold, and stale. This past week has been a challenge for me as a Universalist. As a Universalist, I personally try to align my thoughts and actions with this core idea that all people, all beings, all things are worthy of love. This past week has been a challenge for me. Know that my personal hard thing has nothing to do with church or my family, and also that I'm okay. And also, a community that is core to who I am, we together were heartbroken open by some unlovable actions of one of our own. We are sad, we are angry, we are confused, we are grieving in the wake of this betrayal. I know you want the details, but I'm not going to give them. You don't need to know the details to know the type of week I've had spiritually. You don't need to know all the details because I imagine that you've had a week like this yourself, or a month, or a year. A time when you learned a new side of someone you loved, somebody you trusted. And that new side was far from pretty, maybe even horrible, possibly evil. And this person you once loved and trusted so deeply, you now feel differently towards. That new feeling you have for them might have eclipsed the love one you once had, covered over that love, replaced it even. Or you might feel closer to what I'm feeling, like you have to hold the love and all this other stuff all at once and figure out how it makes any sense. It's times like this that we ask ourselves, how do I love a person who has done unlovable things, right? How do you love someone who's done something unlovable? Our first principle says that we are inherently worthy of love and dignity. Inherent as in inborn and unremovable from our beings. The call of modern universalism is clear: to love all, everyone, every person, every being, everything, not every action, I might add. How can we reconcile this principle with the fact that it can be hard or even inappropriate or unacceptable to extend our love to people who do unlovable things? This is a challenge for all of us, whether we've experienced a really deep betrayal or not. As you heard earlier, trans-Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Sean Parker Dennison wrote about the challenge. In this reading, they address what is often one of the first questions that arises when we say our first principle out loud, or when we mention the call of universalism to love all, period. Almost inevitably, the first question that arises when we affirm this principle or belief is, what about Hitler, right? What about murderers? What about the person who abused me? What about maybe a recent president or any of the pseudo or actual fascists and white nationalists who use their power to enable that president? The list could go on, right? Reverend Dennison's reading reorients this line of questioning, which quickly spirals, you can see. We could spend our time cultivating and growing and discussing how to love these people. But what would that leave us left for the people who were directly impacted by their hatred, their violence, their evil? Scraps is Reverend Dennison's word. Scraps of love, scraps of compassion, scraps of dignity left for those people most impacted. I don't hear Reverend Dennison saying that people who do bad things are unworthy of love. I think that's just another poem of theirs. I do hear them advising us to direct our love to the margins, to the hurting, to those who have been convinced that they are somehow unworthy of love or unworthy of being treated with dignity. These are the ones who desperately need love. It's a helpful reminder because I know our hearts, our Unitarian Universalist hearts, and I know that our hearts reside with those who are most impacted by hate and violence. And I also know that we Unitarian Universalists like a challenge. Sometimes we think that the challenge of universalism, the challenge of loving all, is to love those who are unlovable. But actually, I think that universalism asks us to prioritize, and that prioritizing is the challenge, to prioritize loving those who have been denied the love that we know they are inherently worthy of. Love the margins. Love the harmed. Love those whose dignity has been questioned. Love the ones who have been given reason to believe they might be unlovable. Be like Sonora, the super javelina, using their quote-unquote magic powers of kindness, bravery, determination to make ordinary human transformation in our world. Why? Why direct our love to the margins, to the harmed? Something I've been saying to myself recently is a line from activist and writer Adrienne Marie Brown, who said, "What we pay attention to grows. What we pay attention to grows." So where do we want our love to grow? In this admittedly false dichotomy between those who have done something that is unlovable and those who have been denied full love, the choice, for me, is not hard. I want to grow love with those who have been denied love. Sometimes this person is yourself, right? In 2017, pop artist Kesha released a song titled Praying. Anybody heard this song? Yeah, we got a few. Usually Gen Xers and millennials, and some Gen Zers among us. Kesha was just emerging from a legal battle to regain power over the music that she had written from her former producer, who also happened to be her abuser. And although the abuser is not named in this song, Praying, it is clear that the song speaks to her experience of having survived abuses of power. She sings these lyrics. I won't sing them because you got to listen, but I'll say them. "Well, you almost had me fooled. Told me that I was nothing without you. Oh, but after everything you've done, I can thank you for how strong I have become. I hope you're somewhere praying. I hope your soul is changing. I hope you find your peace falling on your knees, praying." What I love about this song and why it resonates for me is that these lyrics focus on the empowering of the survivor of abuse. They express a really healthy hope of transformation and restoration of the person with the abusive behaviors, but they do not try to fix that person. That's a useless task, right? They simply express this hope that the person is praying, that the person is changing, that the person is finding peace, and they kind of let go of that. Sometimes this is the furthest we can extend our love. Sometimes just wishing for the transformation of those who have caused harm, especially when they have caused us direct harm, is as far as our love can go. And that is okay. It is okay to reserve a majority of your love for your own healing. It is okay to focus on loving the ones who have been denied their own worth and dignity. It is okay to admit that you can't love someone, not now, maybe not ever. It is okay to not want to forgive somebody. It is okay. How can we love people who do unlovable things? To that question, I ask, what if instead of addressing this behemoth of a challenge, what if we take on that challenge of focusing on the places where our love, our affirmation can make a big difference? Which is, for me, loving the margins, loving the harmed, loving the disaffected. This is how our love can multiply. This is how our love can grow. This is how love could win. In the coming week, you may find ways to send your love to the margins. May you resist the urge to figure out how to love the unlovable now. The task will require some type of PhD in being human. And I don't know about you, but I'm just in first or second grade on this being human thing. Remember, Reverend Dennison's reading calls us to a universalism, which to them is a love that doesn't let us go and a love that doesn't let us off the hook. May you remember that you are held by that love that will never let you go. And because of this, part of your responsibility is to reflect that love back to all you meet. And in that all, I encourage you to find the people and the places that have been told they are unworthy of love, and to send your love there. Affirm inherent worthiness there. Spend your time there. If we can encourage love to grow in those places by paying attention to those places, we can grow the amount of love that is in this world itself, and we can reflect that loving embrace of creation back to itself. May we make it so. Blessed be, and amen.
Please stand and join me in song, Break Not the Circle of Enabling Love. Circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken? Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Friends, there is a circle of love that holds all of creation, and I believe that it holds us all always. May you feel held by this circle. May you, however you call it, however you feel, whether you feel it can exist or not, know that you are whole and holy, just as you are. And we have some work to do together. It is good to be on this journey with you. Go in peace, with love and more love on your hearts always. And have a seat.
Will you join me in saying our words of challenge extinguishing by Reverend Maureen Killaran? I hope I said that right. This is the message of our faith, to act with passion in the face of injustice, to love with courage in the midst of life's pain. This is the meaning of our chalice flame. May it empower our hearts until we are together again.